former teammates with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Cannot wait to see how that matchup is going to go. Checking in New Orleans, Golden State Warriors on the road. This is a live look inside Smoothie King Center. And both of these teams desperately seeking a win. We're going to see what happens because good news, they are going to be on NBA TV tonight. In fact, a doubleheader on our air this evening. That's game one. And Stephanie, ready? Glad you're here with us on the warm-up. Guess who else is here? Steve Smith, that's him behind the shades. He is also warming up, NBA champion. And Candace Parker, WNBA champ.
You didn't tell me it was
you miss me?
Glasses day.
Yeah,
it's for arrivals.
It's arrivals.
Okay, well, you didn't ever tell me.
My bad.
Thanks, Vet. You didn't tell me.
Here on the warm-up, we try to get you ready for all of the games. Lots of action in the association tonight. We'll dip in and out of all the arenas to keep you posted. Of course, we'll check in on social media. And as Smitty just kind of alluded to, we will also show you arrivals when they are available. Fantasy basketball also on tap every night here inside the warm-up. Okay, first things first. We know what's happening in the world. Yes, the NBA is front and center, but there are real-life situations going on. LeBron James tweeted this earlier today. He says, I pray for all the families in the area that could be affected by these fires. Pretty please get to safety ASAP. Obviously, this is a serious situation going on in California. Candace, that is where you make your home. How has this affected you?
You know, I think it's just staying in contact and making sure that you're listening to, all the coverage. When there is an evacuation order, I would strongly, evacuate. But just staying up to date because it's dangerous and things change. Things are one thing. You can replace those, but just making sure all your loved ones are listening and paying attention and safe.
Totally agree. I think Candace hit it right on the head. You definitely just have to listen. When they say it's time to evacuate because there's so much danger. I hear about just the smoke and inhalation that you inhale even after the fires are over.
It's very dangerous. Of course, we are sending all of our thoughts and prayers to everyone who is affected. And we are so grateful for the first responders who are brave enough to face this head on. Thank goodness. All right, let's take a look around the NBA for some other headlines. Starting off with the big game, Golden State Warriors, led by Steph Curry, facing the Pelicans tonight. As I mentioned, both teams looking for their first win. New Orleans 0-3 to start things off. And the Charlotte Hornets continuing their West Coast swing, playing the other team in LA. The Clippers are playing host to the Hornets. Kawhi Leonard, of course, leads the way for them. Hornets have a tough road ahead. This is a big one. It may not be on our air, but everybody will be tuning in to see how Russell Westbrook does when he faces his former teammates in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Cannot wait to see that reaction. Whew, so much to talk about, right? I mean, tonight is a night of a lot of games, but some really good storylines. I mean, that was the first one, right? Russell Westbrook. We knew it was going to be drastic. You bring one MVP to join another MVP, but here we are early in the season. He gets to face the only team that he's ever played.
And I'm looking forward to see how he attacks. We know he's going to be in attack mode, but I want to see how his teammates respond. The guys that have been playing against him in practice, and Steven Adams, do you foul Russ hard coming down the lane? It's going to be interesting to see, Candace. I can't wait.
Well, we saw when Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant first matched up, when he was playing his old teammate. Now he's playing his old team. And Russell plays the same way every game. It doesn't matter who the other opponent is. And so I look for him to honestly just be aggressive like he always is. But to have his Houston Rockets teammates have to have his back on this one because it's got to be tough facing your old franchise.
Well, I think that's a huge piece of the story. The other part of it is the Houston Rockets themselves, right? Taking the OKC Thunder out of the equation. Can this team get acclimated with each other to the point where they feel like they're contending for a championship? That has been their goal since day one. Do they have enough?
I think they have enough when you have two former MVPs on the team, but I think all the other guys, they kind of fit. It's just going to come down to me is in the fourth quarters, how do they finish games? And also on the defensive end. For me, those two guys, their numbers are going to be spectacular. But how can you guys evolve others? And I know not just with the assists, but having these guys engaged as well and trusting in the others. Because, Candace, as you know, these two, they can get 65, 70 between the two. But can you have those guys, trust those guys down the stretch when there's a close game and playoff situation?
Well, Coach D'Antoni has said that he only plans on playing Russell Westbrook and James Harden on the court together for 12 minutes. And the other times, they're going to be playing with the first and second unit apart from each other. And with that being said, Russell Westbrook, he scores in transition, he gets out early in the first 4 or 5 seconds of the clock. Well, in the playoffs, guess what? You have to have your best two players on the floor at all times. Mm-hmm. So in the playoffs, it's going to be interesting if they can lock up a playoff seed in the West. Seeing how they're going to utilize both of them being on the floor at the same time.
Something that we have not talked about yet. Someone else is facing their former team tonight. It's Chris Paul is facing the Houston Rockets. This story has pretty much flown under the radar because no one is taking the OKC Thunder serious as a playoff team. But the reality is Chris Paul at one point in his career was an MVP candidate, and now he will be facing the Rockets. What will that look like for him?
Steph, I think the Russ and OKC, I didn't feel like it was hard feelings from that organization. But now the Chris Paul going back to Houston, I don't know all the storylines, but I think this one stirs the pot a little bit. I want to get a chance to see the reaction from Chris Paul because I know he's feisty going up against his former team. It's going to be interesting how he reacts playing the Houston Rockets.
Well, I think it's going to be a lot. I mean, for him, he's one of those players that likes challenges. Mm-hmm. And, what a challenge. An organization that's basically vying for a championship trades you, and everybody basically has counted OKC out. So I think a win against Houston would be pretty good in Chris Paul's book.
Do you think that he takes that personal? Because you just said, Candace, that now they're trying to win a championship, and they've come right out and said that is the goal, championship or bust. And to do that, they felt they needed to, I don't want to say discard, but they did get rid of him. He's not on the roster.
Players all the time say they don't pay attention to the media. They don't pay attention to what people say. But Chris Paul is paying attention to that. Anybody that knows him knows he's one of the biggest trash talkers, most competitive guys. And when you're playing a former team that basically said, we don't want you,
right,
and traded you and to get a better piece to give them a better chance at winning a championship, this is definitely, he's playing with a chip on his shoulder.
Yes, indeed. And I can say once you traded from a team that you didn't ask to be traded, it's a little bit different going in. And especially he gets a chance to play them in Houston. Mm-hmm. This is going to be special for Chris Paul.
Ooh, I cannot wait. Already early on in the NBA season, and we have one of these games where you just cannot wait to see what's going to happen. Okay, here on the warm-up, we have a poll question, and this is what it is tonight. Who will represent the Eastern Conference in the finals? Bucks, Celtics, and 76ers are your choice. And excuse me, that's not correct. Are the Warriors are locked to make the playoffs this season? Yes or no? It's a simple question. One-word answer. Let us know. Hit us up on Twitter, and we will make sure that we discuss it later on in the show. Derrick Rose.
He's looking good.
Yes.
Former MVP. Coming off the bench, but still averaging over 20 points.
I would like to see us play harder. That'll help a little bit, but the reality is we suck right now. And, hopefully we'll get better. We'll continue working at it and try to get better, but we're just not that good right now. And I don't know what better way to frame that for you or tell it. I could try in Spanish, but I ain't really that good at Spanish.
Well, welcome back to the warm-up. Leave it to Draymond Green to get right to the chase. I mean, they're struggling. We can all see it. It's their first 0-2 start since Steph Curry's rookie season. We knew that this was not going to be the same championship team Warriors that we were used to, but I'm not sure if anyone thought that the fall from grace would be this swift.
Well, I will say this. In my day, not trying to go back to my day, Candace, but we had longer training camp. When you subtract 6 or 7 guys from a system, and we understand the Golden State Warriors system, and then you add all these new guys, whether they're veterans or they're young guys, it's going to take some time. And you don't have that time in preseason and training camp like you used to. I think they go about a week, and then they go 3 or 4 preseason games. I just don't think that's enough to implement everything, especially when you have a bunch of new guys. And it's going to take some time. Now, on the defensive end, this is where effort can come in. But I think on the offensive end, they're struggling because the continuity is not there yet. You can see Draymond with the ball, Candace, and waiting for somebody to go set a screen, and they're just not there yet. But to give up 130 points and a half. This is where they're going to have to show that up. You got to be able to get some stops, even if you can't score.
Well, to your point, I mean, look, 30-plus points in 7 of 8 quarters. That's not really a recipe for winning. But I was in attendance at the Chase Center for their home opener, and I excused away that game. The Clippers are a solid team. They're defensively sound, and when you're playing against them, your offense isn't going to look good. Your defense isn't going to look good trying to lock up Kawhi Leonard. But Patrick Beverley said it. You've had the last 5 years, and the NBA is going to take turns going at Golden State even more than they were the last time because they think they have a chance, and they have a chance to really beat them in a way that, you know, they haven't had in a long time.
And the Warriors used to beat them the way they
exactly.
used to beat
Like
them.
the Warriors,
For
Steph
sure.
is dancing and shaking his shoulders. Now the opponents are going to do that to him.
Well, we have a guest ready to join us, Steve and Candace. We'd like to welcome in Glenn Robinson III. He's joining us live from Smoothie King Center as a member of the Golden State Warriors. Thank you so much for joining us, Glenn.
No problem. Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Well, we were just talking about your team. It's been well chronicled that this is not the best start that you all have had, and obviously not one that you wanted. Just want to dive in a little bit. What is it that you think you can work on right away that can change things for you guys?
Yeah. Well, we got, I think 9 players under 23. You know, a lot of new guys, 10 new guys on our team. So it's going to take some time to gel. I've been on some teams with some younger guys, and, you know, you really need a couple games to fill it out, you know, playing without 2 centers. But, you know, with all the excuses out the window, we got to come ready to play every night. You know, we got to learn how to be connected on the defensive end, most importantly, and let our offense come to us. I thought we were a little bit rushed. So it'll come as the season starts coming and as season gets going, and I'm just excited to be here and excited to help this team out and continue to grow.
Glenn, when you talk about the defensive end, is it more of the terminology or just guys not understanding where the other one playing off each other? Is the chemistry or the terminology?
I think a little bit of both. You know, when you're coming into the league, things are coming at you fast. You know, you put in 50 different pick and rolls throughout the game. You know, that's the way the game's played nowadays, and we got to know, you know, how to exile, how to help each other off rotations, and it'll take some time, but that's what we're working on every day, and really just analyzing and studying the film. I think that's something big that we've been doing lately, and we got to get guys all connected on the same page.
Well, Glenn, we've watched Steph Curry win championships and in the highs. And what can you say about him as a leader right now? You guys obviously facing a little bit of adversity, but we've seen him rise to the occasion in other times where you guys have had adversity.
Yeah, Steph, he comes into practice, comes into games every day with the same mindset. You know, he wants to be the best. He wants to continue to get better. I think the thing that I've learned from him the most is, you know, he shows it, he proves it. You know, he's not a huge talker all the time, but he's always ready to play. He's always showing his best ability in his game. So just leading by example.
Glenn, you signed a 2-year deal in the offseason, so this is your first moment with the Golden State Warriors. They are a storied franchise, especially here in recent history. What has that experience been like for you?
Yeah. It's been great. It's been different coming from other teams, you know, Minnesota, Indiana. It's a team who really, you know, we're about having fun. We're about playing hard, you know, and really just learning. Coach Kerr is a coach who wants you to get the best out of his guys, you know, without attacking them or coming at them, just instilling us with confidence and just ready to go every single night. So it's been fun for me, my time here and with the Warriors.
So my question is, 2017 Slam Dunk champion. So in Chicago, will we see you again participate in the Slam Dunk contest?
I don't know. It might be a one and done thing for me. You know, I won it and didn't go back. So we'll see. Who knows? I'm gonna keep it up in the air.
I was in attendance at the first game of the Chase Center. It is phenomenal. Can you talk about just how amazing your new home is?
Oh, it's great. It's amazing. You know, it's a brand new building in San Fran. You know, the Tech City, you know, so I think that, you know, everything from the TVs in our locker rooms to the entrance where you come in, they got a whole Hooptopia thing for the fans. You know, I think that they did a great job just with the whole arena. You know, they put a lot of time, a lot of money into the building, and, you know, it gives the fans really the excitement that they need and that they want coming in the building and ready to cheer us on.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you good luck. We appreciate you taking time out before the game.
I need to see you in a dunk contest in Chicago.
I second that.
No pressure, though.
I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it for you, Steve.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
All right, that was Glenn Robinson III. Very gracious of him to join us. I mean, you both know, right before a game, you're locked in, you're focused, and I think that that's terrific that he joined us. It's great for the fans at home. And their opponent tonight, the Pelicans. They also are locked in. They are searching for their first win. It seems to me, though, different storylines, right? Warriors are coming from winning championships, 5 straight Western Conference finals. Pelicans, no one expects them to do anything if make the playoffs, especially in light of the Williamson injury. What do you guys think you can expect from the Pelicans tonight?
You know, I would say some individual performances is the guys that came over in the trade. Alonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart. Josh Hart hadn't played a lot of minutes, in that first game, and then he got a chance to play. He has played extremely well, and I am taking my hat off to Brandon Ingram, the way he's come out and played, rebounded the basketball, and I love the new Lonzo Ball. He looks more relaxed, Candace. Now, all these individual performances have not come up with a win yet, but I do see progress, and without Zion Williamson, I think they're playing hard. I think it'll start to click because they're playing the right way. They're just coming up short.
I agree. And when you're missing a player like Zion in preseason that basically played outstanding, everybody was getting used to and accustomed to playing the way that they want to play with Zion. I think Lonzo Ball obviously will be better with him, but the reason why he's a Pelican is to pair him with Zion Williamson. And Ingram obviously has done a good job carrying the load. Their losses have not been by a lot. They've been in every single game, which is what you want. And they're trying to bring along a lot of guys defensively as well as getting them acclimated with offense.
All right, and of course, Drew Holiday is listed as questionable because of the knee injury, so we'll keep you posted if there's something new. How about this tweet? They want to know, Candace, what does that say on your shirt?
It says love is never out of style.
Steve
is never out of style.
Oh, love. I didn't see love. Okay, my bad.
Never have Steve wear his
Great
glasses
question. I love that tweet.
on set. Oh.
You didn't like my
Love
glasses?
is
That's
never
all right.
out of style. I love that. So classic. I'm a classy
Yes.
lady. All right, you guys.
She's
we are.
back.